Oh, we have some viewers. Okay, hold on. Let me just move the webcam to the center of my laptop. Okay. So, hello. What I think we're going to do today is, as the name of this video suggests, we're going to be trying to read and write files, which is like it's a bit of a nightmare of a problem, all things considering, for structured editors. But you know, I kind of want Sapling to be kind of usable as quickly as possible. So I think for that, I think we should try and implement this, even if it's just, oh, if the file is invalid, you just stop parsing, right? Like that, you just somehow fail opening the file. I think that's a decent baseline, because as soon as we can read and write files, even vaguely, we can kind of test a whole lot of other stuff about Sapling, like how usable is it, etc. So I haven't really prepared this because I was ringing handbells online all afternoon. So I have only vague ideas about how to get opening and writing happening. So we'll probably just, start somewhere. Yeah, where's the best place to start? I think editor DAG, because we need somewhere to store the location of the file, because we need to know which file we opened, so that when we save a file with like :W, like you would in Vim, that actually saves the file to the right place. It'd be annoying if you had to tell it where to save all the time. Yeah, so Vim has quite a complicated way of doing this, as far as I understand. It has like windows and then buffers and then files, and they're like all separate. But for the time being, Sapling can only have one kind of window open at the same time. Like Vim can have several. We can just like arbitrarily split the screen. And importantly, Vim can open the same file multiple times as well, which is probably that's a really nice feature to have, but I don't think it's worth implementing it right now. So yeah, I think Sapling will just know which file it's opening somewhere. That should probably be in DAG, I think. Where's the definition of DAG? Come on. Here we go. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got an arena, which is where the nodes are allocated and where they're stored. And we've got, this stuff is essentially history stuff. So the arena and the snapshots and the history, that should all be specific to one file. Like if I open the same file twice, same buffer twice in Vim, and then I make some change, it has to update on both of the screens. Otherwise there's just like that would be really weird to have the same file open twice independently. And also undo has to work the same way on both. So these both need to be file specific, and the current cursor path does not, because if we split screen a file, we can move the cursor into two different locations. But for the time being, we can only open one window at a time, so it doesn't matter whether or not we clump everything together. It's just for future reference. So what should we have? Let's file path. It's probably what we want. Aha, we encounter a naming collision for the first time. So I think we should import use standard path. Some spice is going to happen right now, because we have standard path. The standard file path is like std path, and this is a file path, so it's like a path through the file system. And we also have our own internal path that's a path down a syntax tree. and the two have the same name. So I'm just going to go with standard path for path, and we're just going to call the path through the syntax tree path. That's hopefully not confusing. Oh no, did I lose my mark? Okay. Struct tag. Okay, here we go. Oops. So we have a file path. Maybe this should be option. Actually, okay, I've got a better idea, because DAG, like the point of DAG in the code is to be a file, like, what's the best word? So DAG is kind of doing what buffers do in Vim. So a DAG is the kind of state of one file as it's opened. And at the moment we kind of have editor sitting around the outside, and editor kind of handles the user side interaction, like displaying to the screen and that kind of stuff. And so therefore I think it should be the editor that knows where the file is stored, because where the file is stored doesn't have any real relevance to what DAG is doing, which is handling edits on the tree. It's essentially being a file buffer, but fs path, that's a good idea. Unused import. Well, that's better than what we had before. In fact, we don't even need it in this file anymore. Where's, are we importing stuff from stud? Yeah, here we are. We don't need DAG anymore. All right, so we've got the tree format style. Yeah, this is feeling better because we got state. I think there should probably be a layer in between. Like at the moment, we've got editor, which handles everything from like keyboard input to display. And then we've got DAG, which is literally just like the internal state of the file at any point. We probably need an intermediate that's like we've got editor, which handles keyboard input and all of that kind of things. And then we have some number of windows open somehow. And then underneath that, we have some number of DAGs. And you could have two windows owning the same DAG. That's okay. That's like opening the same file twice in Vim. You have two buffers, they're called in Vim, and you have one buffer and two windows. So what we need a file path somewhere in here. I mean, I think saving to a file is quite straightforward at the moment, because we can already render to text. We have to render to text in order to render to the screen. So if we can render to text, we can save the data of the code to a file. But there's an interesting conundrum, right, which I was thinking about, which is if I open a file in a text editor and save it straight away, is it okay for the code that's saved to be different to the code that you opened? Like, semantically different, it shouldn't be. Like, the code that you opened and saved shouldn't have a different meaning to the code you opened. Like, that would be bad. But if at the moment we had Sapling as it stands, which is you parse a load of JSON into a syntax tree, you destroy all of the formatting information, then when you save back to disk, you save it in some different format. Like, is that okay? That's the kind of question. And I thought, well, obviously it's not, because like that's not what existing editors do. But in reality, it is what existing editors do, because almost all editors have some form of format on save, because that's incredibly useful. Like, let's say I created a whole bunch of new lines here and saved the file. Then Rust format in this case will take the lines out because it knows they're not needed. And so that begs the question, like, is it okay like I was wondering whether we even need to store formatting detail at all. We could just open a file and then format it arbitrarily and then save it again. Like, yeah, does anyone, like, so I think that's okay to start with, but I can imagine a situation where, let's say, like, so you could do even better than just, oh yeah, parse the tree and then just write it back in whatever configuration Sapling thinks it should be configured in, right? What you could do is you could open the file and then save it to a temp file somewhere in the file system, run the formatter, like the language's default formatter on that file, right? So it would turn stuff like, let's say my kind of Rust syntax wanted lines like this to be like function arguments to be all on one line, right? Then you end up with this giant long line, and then when I wrote it to a file, it would write this line. It would write the whole line as a big long piece of text, and then when you save, it would auto format that file in the background, and then write the formatted version to disk. Yeah, exactly. That's like, not formatting breaks existing workflows. That's the main thing, and it's really annoying. Like, I wish you could just like not have any backwards compatibility. That would be fantastic. But in all honesty, like, the whole point of Sapling over existing syntax tree editors, like, one of the key selling features is, well, if it works, one of the key selling features will be that you can work with existing tools, right? Like, my kind of mantra is, like, other people, if you're working on code with someone else, other people shouldn't know that you're using Sapling. It should just be, oh, like, you shouldn't be able to tell apart Sapling and VS Code. And that basically means you've got to store formatting information. The main thing that's lost, actually, that I couldn't figure out a way of fixing, because yeah, exactly, like that would be the ideal scenario, because as far as I'm concerned, syntax tree editing is just way better than everything else. And if we could somehow, like, I don't know, brainwash at least 50% of programmers into believing that too, and just like get them switched to syntax tree editing, then immediately, like, the whole balance would change. It wouldn't be like fighting against the storm. It would be like the storm fighting with us. But like, realistically, that's not going to happen. So, and until that does, we've got to accept that we're going to be reading and writing to text, and we should probably have some kind of consistency of, like, if you open a file and save it again, it should be the same. Yes, exactly. That's fair. Like, what Martin said about, I'd love to see that at some point, but we need something usable in the meantime. That's basically what I'm doing today. Because before I was kind of putting off doing this whole, oh, how the hell do you open a file into a syntax tree and keep the formatting in such a way that if I were to, like, delete sections of the file, it doesn't just completely break? Like how do you even do that? Like, suppose that I stored, I don't know, these as these arguments as syntax tree with, like, white space around them, and then, I don't know, like, I moved them somewhere else. Like how the heck do you even deal with that? And I kind of got intimidated by that, so I was like, oh, well, there's not much point even trying, right? But ooh, I have not heard about semantic merge. That is interesting. Can I get a new Firefox window? Okay, what's the betting that OBS behaves? Firefox? No, of course not. It just, right. Properties. Here we go. Okay, right Firefox window this time. What's this? Ooh. Oh, this is a paid for tool. Interesting. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's definitely cool. So it's like, oh, hold on. You can only see the top half of my head. Here we go. Wow. Yeah, okay, this looks very cool. I suspect it's doing roughly what Sapling does, right? It's it's opening the two versions of the file that it's trying to merge and parsing them and then merging the syntax trees together. I guess that's roughly what it's doing. That's cool. I'll look at that more, not on stream, because I'd like to get some code done before dinner. So, right, now that we've discussed that, so I think we should start by being able to write stuff to disk, because that's very easily possible. Ooh, I might have a look at that. I mean, more what I'm interested in is how it works over whether or not it works. Like, it clearly works if they're expecting people to pay money for it. Though, having said that, I think the same way about Windows, and that doesn't work. People pay money for Windows, and I don't think it works. But there we go. So we need some kind of path. File path is... Does it have to be an option? No, for the time being, we're just going to require paths to be opened. Let's say that we just... For the time being, I'm just going to require it to open a specific file. I think that's dumb, but after all, like, that's probably going to work. How do I... New. Let's just open thing.json, because we all like naming our things thing. Hello. Is that okay? What? Huh? Rust, what are you doing? Oh! Okay, FS path is... OS path is like a section of memory. It's like str. So it's a contiguous section of memory, and what we've done right now is we've just stuck that slice onto the end of editor, and now editor doesn't know how long it is, because editor doesn't have a fixed size, because the longer the file path is, the more space off the end of the data structure we need. So we need to borrow this, I think. Missing lifetime. No, we're going to put it in a box. I didn't think path worked like that. Surely not. But anyway, box new. Mismatch types. Ugh. What? What? Path buff. Okay, right. I knew there was... Yes, that's what I want. Oh, drat. Where was I? Saves one use size. Okay. Big optimizations right there. Okay. Okay, now can we make this? If it went for the crazy bracket. Supplied one argument from. Okay. Right, so we now know where the file's going to go. What I think we should do, because we don't have commands yet in what we'd ideally have is :write or :w to write to the file, but we don't have command mode yet. So, oops. Yeah, come on, build. We just have Q to quit, which is kind of like that's so unbelievably trigger happy because it doesn't save your work, and you could just be typing something and hit Q and then boom, all of your work's gone. But that is very much less than ideal. So what we need is we need another thing. We need W for write, and that's in normal mode somewhere. Ooh, some syntax errors are happening. Oh, okay, I made a load of changes, that's why. Okay, where are we? Aha, so we have the different actions. This is what we need. We need write to a file, or write current to disk. Right. Oh, we get compiler errors. I do like this. I've been doing coding in Python recently, and it's so painful. Like, the Rust compiler is annoying sometimes, sure, but it makes you appreciate how much a compiler does for you when I'm doing some really big refactoring, and I have no idea until I run the code whether or not it works. And like, even when I do run it, I have no idea if it's going to work because there's no type checking at all. I could just be passing some stupid thing across like parameters, and it would just like silently work. It's kind of like the worst possible thing you can have in some code is, well, so it can silently not work. Or is it like, okay, it will work, look like it's working, but actually not. A bit of it rant over. There we go. Right, not covered. Where is this? 129. All right, of course we need to have somewhere to. We need to be able to display it. Where's the next error? 235. No, in fact, it's not 235 anymore, but convert it to an action. Okay, so we need action.write as well. Yeah, we could really do with getting rid of we really need command mode at this point, because if we have quit, if everything is an action, right? Like the whole point of action is that actions are to be passed into the DAG, right? So they're edits specifically to the file. They're not like stuff about resize, like moving windows and stuff. The whole point of the action structure is like, oh yeah, here are the different possible things you can do to edit the file. And obviously quitting and writing to disk, that's got no relevance to the file. Like, that's not editing, so that shouldn't be the same. But that's some formatting we'll do another day. Go to definition. Write file to disk. Current buffer. Oh, so much stuff that we have to fill in. Right, so write to disk. What do we got now? Oh, what category is it? well, so action write. So what categories should write be in? I think we need a kind of IO and closing, or yeah, let's make an IO category and closing files, etc. Or okay, maybe actions and action that handles reading and writing from disk. Okay, so write is in category IO. We have even more problems. We need to give it a color. IO, what color's remaining? Yellow, I think, is missing. We got red, orange doesn't exist. Red, orange, green. Already got. Have we got green? No, we haven't. Okay, this can just be normal green. Is this all of the compile errors, you reckon? No, normal mode. Okay, so 51. Okay, right. So in normal mode, if we make a delete, then what happens? Okay, so in the case of write, what do we do? Okay, we need some way of... Right, so now we actually need the way to save to disk. And... so the transition function here, when we're consuming keys, this function doesn't have access to the editor. All we have is, we have DAG and editor mod. Like, editor, the editor structure is the next level above DAG, right? It holds a DAG, which is the kind of state of the buffer at this point. And then it also holds additional information about, how this should be rendered to the screen, like what terminal we're using, that kind of stuff. And crucially, it also contains the file path that we need to save the file to. So I reckon the easiest way of doing this is simply to make sure that instead of passing just the DAG into here, we pass editor directly, which means that we need to use super. So super editor. Here we go. Oh, I can't remember. Where did I do the edit? Oh, it's here. Where all the errors are. Okay. Oops. Okay, so yeah, we need to do a whole bunch of like somewhat grindy type renaming and like trait fixing. So editor state, I believe, is where this where this stuff is defined. Here we go. So this is editor and it has type editor. Very, very useful naming right there. Not in scope. Use super. Yeah, let's combine these. Super editor. And DAG is not defined anymore, I think. Oh. Okay, and this is editor. I think this is reasonable, actually, because the state, this transition function, in inverted commas, is, like, more accurately, it's a function that gets called whenever the user presses a keystroke or does any kind of event. And in the case of an event, we do want access to everything, because we have events that, I don't know, quit the editor, right? Like, that's not just editing a file. Like, the point is that only passing the tree that we're editing into this function means that the only thing we can do on keystrokes is either do something fancy like quitting, which involves like a different mechanism entirely, or we can edit the tree. And that's the only two things we can do, because everything else we don't have access to. So I'm thinking that we need to pass editor through. I think this code should sort of compile. Oof. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. So, okay, this is not unreasonable because all of these are the same. So, where are we at? Normal mode. Is Dagger really not needed anymore? I think it might be. So, yeah. Let's fix this error first, because we're getting one error from where we passed. Yeah, so we're getting one error from where the transition function is called, because we changed the parameter type and we haven't done anything to like what's actually passed into the transition function. So here, 252, instead of passing self.tree, we need to pass just mute self. And we won't see the borrow checker yet. Unused imports, that's okay. Where are we? Oh, editor normal mode is where the chaos is happening. And the chaos is happening because tree is not defined. And that's completely okay, because all we have to do is to say let tree is editor.tree. Or we just replace them all with editor.tree, but I think this is fine. Cannot move out of editor. Does that work? Oh, and mute. Oh! Yeah, boys, I think this code, and girls, I think this code might compile. Oh. Damn, okay. No, this is okay. So we can't... yeah, okay. So dag up here is not needed anymore. That seems reasonable because we're only... we never need it as a parameter now. Right, so what's happening to the main thing? Okay, so we're passing in the configuration and self, and we, like, Rust is saying no, because we got self.config is accessible through self, and we've passed a mutable reference to self and an immutable reference to self.config, and Rust is saying this is not okay because through the mutable reference we could mutate self.config whilst having a mutable parameter, like mutable pointer, right? So, but the thing is, we don't even need to pass config anymore, because it's accessible through this, and it's accessible through just having a reference straight to the editor. So, wait, we need to change the state trait here. We don't need config. We don't need config up here. Let's just get the compiler to tell us where the others are. Where it is. Oh, there's one in editor mod. I remember now, because there's the the weird undefined state that you should never be able to access. If anyone wants to have a go at idiomatifying that, if that's a word, then feel free. Config, that's editor.config.keymap. Now, here's the question. Does it compile? Cannot borrow is mutable. Excusez-moi. S'il vous plaît. Oh yeah, normal mode, we don't need config anymore. Editor. Oh, and state doesn't need to import config either. Okay. editor and mod. Yeah, what's the last thing? 250. What? Oh, yeah, okay. It's just that, because we passed self is already a mutable reference. So the word, like, the thing behind self here is not... self in this case is like ampersand mute editor. So self is already a mutable reference, and what I was doing before was like a mutable reference to a mutable reference to the thing. Which Rust was just saying, oh yeah, no, don't do that. Does it compile? It does. Does it actually work? That's the other question. Ouch. Okay, what's broken with the tests? I think this is just that there's some pattern match that we don't have, that we're just missing the right action from. Editor DAG, and it's 171. You what? Oh no, it's not. It's 728. Lol, wrong place. Okay, and then quit. So this section of code is it's basically here to make testing easier, because what this whole section of code is doing is it's adding a function to DAG that says take an action, and we know that the action might be something that we can't even execute, like the action might be quit, but take an action that's specified by the unit test and then execute it. And so it makes the unit tests really nice, because we can have one function that's, say, run test OK, and we can just, in one place, we can say, oh yeah, initialize a DAG. This is the code you need to do that. And we start with some tree, right, which is test JSON. That's like a JSON type that isn't the one that we use in production. That's just one where it's kind of like Vec, where all of the nodes are owned by their parents and so on, which means it's very incompatible with Sapling's like keeping everything in an arena. Like, you can't put that in an arena because it owns itself. But it's really useful for passing around unit tests, because you can specify things really quickly, and it just works way better for this. Yeah, and it's used here, so it's like, oh yeah, perform some action some number of times. And that's just way easier to write tests for than having to manually write out this, like, create DAG, perform some action, test the result, like deconstruct the DAG. Anyway, that's an aside. Cargo test. Does it compile? Does it work? Whoa! Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, I think, yeah, 99%, like, or 90% of these tests were editor DAG, so, which we haven't even changed. So I guess that's why all of the tests still work. What was I even doing before I went down the testing rabbit hole? Oh yes, we were writing to a file. And that was in normal mode. And we're deleting the cursor at the moment. That's that's probably not a good thing. Oh, cargo run. Let's just check that undefined command W. Oh, I see what's going on. We don't have a key binding for this. Where are key bindings? Key bindings. Oh, it's in config, isn't it? Here we go. Where's Q? W to command type. Right. Okay. This should work now. Okay, right. So at least now we know that the keystroke W is now registered to something, because before we had kind of the intermediate step was okay with writing stuff to a file, but the user couldn't actually invoke that when the editor was running. So we want editor normal mode, and instead of deleting the cursor, we want to do some fancy stuff. What? Oh, I deleted it. Right, that would make sense. So what should we do? Well, we need to open a file buffer. I can't remember how to do this. Lol. Split. It's something like std fs file. Aha, file dot open. And then we pass it editor dot. Oh, we can't access any of the fields. Okay, right. Should have it. For now, we need to access. We need to be able to access the file path externally. So I'm just going to make it public and pub super. I think. Do we want? No, we want pub mod. Is this a thing? No, this is apparently not a thing. Pub super is apparently a thing. So now can we access this file path? Okay, we can't. Right, it's just going to be public. To heck with this. Hold on, what even is going on? Why can't we access this? If we panic here so that the code, so that we don't know what to do. Oh! Okay, let file equals. Okay, that was silly. Whoops. Whacked my microphone. Okay. Okay, so now we have a thing, and then mute. Oh, I need to look this up. Hold on. Every time I need to look up. Yeah, I'll let you see what I'm saying. Aren't I generous? Right. Rust write to file. Oh, this is different to what I expected. Okay, we are going. Okay, so this is it says file dot create as ref path. Oh, let panic. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, OBS, what are you doing? Stop just randomly switching to the Firefox window. I want this Firefox window. Oh wait, that's a bit small. Okay, I don't know what OBS is thinking of, but anyway. Oh, you are supposed to be seeing the code. That is an incredibly good point. Thank you. Okay. So file create, and now we need a buff writer, I think. Oh, it is first buff. You know what? I think we're just going to write it in one shot because oh, file.write all. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, OBS is like, it's an amazing piece of software. It works really well, except sometimes it doesn't. Like, it works absolutely seamlessly for most of the time, and then you do something weird, like resize a Firefox window, and it's like, nope, I'm out. I'm just going to show you the random Firefox window that I have open so I can see chat. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I'm sure I can't be the only person having that happen. So like, hopefully it'll be fixed. Or it's just like one of those things that OBS can't really deal with. Like, it might be part of the operating system. Right. So ROIR. I have not heard of RIOR. Roya. Please explain. For the time being, let's content. So apparently also the stream delay on YouTube, like the amount of time it takes for me to say something and you to hear it, that's apparently really big in comparison to Twitch, at least, which makes me wonder whether I should be live streaming on Twitch. Oh, right, OBS in Rust. Okay. I mean, I'm sure someone's probably trying to do it, but, well, yeah, there's like a thing about, it's kind of almost a meme about rewriting things in Rust. Well, okay, it is a meme about rewriting stuff in Rust. But the thing is, the vast majority of the things rewritten in Rust actually work better than the originals. So, like, I'm just of the opinion that, like, I don't know, it's a meme from, like, people who use C all the time and think C is the only language you should ever write code in. Anyway, enough rambling about OBS. Let's write some code. So what were we doing? Oh yeah, so we need to know what to write to the file, and I'm pretty sure we have a thing to do this. This is just tree.toText. Oh, and we need the format, and that's editor dot format style. Mismatch types. Okay, we need to borrow it. This might. Oh, hold on. I think we didn't need to make this public either. Yes. Okay. It was weird because it didn't kind of make sense because we're in editor normal mode, right? We're in a sub module of the module that editor is defined in, and the way private variables or private fields in Rust work is that they're not just private to the data structure, they're private to the module that it's in. So therefore, we should be able to access stuff from editor from any other like sub-module of editor, of which normal mode is one. Okay, that's nice, because I didn't like, I just kind of don't like making everything public. It just doesn't feel right. So file dot, excuse me, is there some trait that I'm missing? Cheeky documentation trait. Standard IO prelude. Use IO prelude all. Right, now I should be able to dot. Bruh. Standard FS file. Oh, yes, because this is an option. So what's going wrong is that file is actually a result. Like, you can see that from the type annotation. So it's a file or a standard FS error or IO error or something. You know what? I think I'm just going to unwrap at this point, because I'll fix it before the end of the stream. I'm not merging random unwraps into master at any rate. So file dot write all. Right, now it works. That's nice. Okay. So buffer. Can we say content dot as? Excuse me. Do I not get file dot write all? Oh, yeah, we can't unwrap that. Okay. Ouch. Okay. Something is going weird. As bytes, is this a thing? Create a result that must be used, so we unwrap, because I'm just trying to get it to work. I'm not... Yeah. Normally I would just not unwrap at all, unless I know it's safe. Okay, so here is the question. If I press W, it crashes. Fantastic. Oh, it crashes because I told it to panic. But, aha, we have thing.json was written to the file. Okay, right. Stuff is starting to work. So, right, we need to handle these errors somehow. So what I think we should do, so we're writing to a file probably, that's okay. And I think what we could do is, we could farm, what I'd ideally like to do is to use question mark on these, because I think they both return the same error type. Am I right? Let x equals. Yeah, so I think they both return standard IO errors. So I'd quite like to just question mark, use the question mark operator. And so to do that for state, okay, we need another thing. We need this, but we're not implementing a type thing. We're just saying impl state, I think. Is Rust happy with this? And we need a function that's just like write. Hold on, we could just yeah, so the only thing that we're using inside this function, inside this block, the only thing we're using is editor. You think? I don't know, because it gives you a chance. I wasn't going to question mark it permanently. I wasn't going to return it out of the transition function. I was just going to question mark it out of a single function and then do some consistent thing with the error message, right? Like, because if it breaks when you're opening the file or it breaks when you're writing to it, then I think both of them should pop up some kind of error message on the screen, like Vim does. I can't make it, like, I can't figure out a way of making... But surely question mark doesn't. We'd still make a function in... So I don't think question mark in this case would lose information, because if we just said, do we have a main loop? Where should we put this? Okay, so I think let's just put it at the top for the time being. But above render tree for write to file. So if we had something like write to file self, yeah, so, but, oh, do you lose the path? Okay, well, I mean, so, but surely if we have result nothing standard IO error like this, and then we move all of this information into here, self dot. Right, and then we question mark out of here, then what's the difference? What? I'm confused. So, like, I'm willing to take your word for it that this is bad, but I'm struggling to see why, because surely if the error, what even is the type parameter on this? This has no type parameter. What are you gibbering about? Oh, I'm getting... This is confusing. Oh, unexpected type argument. Why? Oh, okay, I get. So, basically, the what's happening here is that we know what the file path is in this function, but the error itself doesn't actually do anything. But where is... So what actually does it say? Ugh, this is a nightmare. Okay. So right. Okay. So we need to get rid of this return type. We want to just return nothing. Oh wait, we could just do this in here now. Okay. Wait, so what was the thing? Map error. Okay. Map error stringify. Oh, is there a cleaner way of like? Oh, I guess we could just have a closure that's like x dot to string. Okay. I will take your word for it that question marking IO error is not good. Okay. So okay. So if we just log this, log warning, warn, and what should we do? We need to do something about like we need to somehow say failed writing to, and then to our path. Oh, okay. So can I? Is that okay if I just leave unwraps everywhere for you to enjoy? And like that would be great if you could fix it, because my Rust knowledge is okay, as in like it's fine for the stuff that I've worked with, but I've never had to do file stuff outside. Excellent. Sure, thanks. Well, that's great. Yeah, I've never had to write files outside just like tiny scripts where it's like, oh yeah, just open a file quickly and it doesn't really matter if it crashes. Okay, so Rust Analyzer is happy. Is the compiler happy? Compiler's happy, right. So we need to get rid of this panic here somehow. So what we need to do, so we ideally want to clear the keystroke. This function is just a mess. I can't find a better way of doing this except returning. Okay, so if we log entry, if we have this be right, I understand. So what's happening is that we have this big match block here, and this big match block is expecting to return something. And it's expecting to return something that we can log the message on, because we were either calling some tree edit function, which would return a result. Like all of these tree edit functions return the same type. And the thing that we're doing here is that the only thing that wasn't a direct edit on the tree was quit, and quit causes an early return. So I was like, of course, the solution to that, like, that's quite nice because you either early return and you don't have to return anything into log message, or you simply you have some edit function and you don't have to say, oh yeah, this.log message, this.log message, and so on, right? That was not what I wanted to do, but it might just be cleaner than doing an early return in here as well, because early returns are a bit they're like, I could just have this in here and that would be horrible. It'd be like return and then none. Would it be none? No, because we want some action. I just... Oh wait, we can't just do action.description. Action category. Because we defined these earlier. What? Hold on. Okay, that was just some weird stuff caused by syntax errors. Okay, so now we should be able to cargo run. So let's say we delete something and then write to disk and then close and then write it. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. We actually wrote some stuff to disk. Okay, so right. I feel like this is enough to demonstrate that we can read and write to disk. Ideally, we would take the file path as an argument if we're going to read it. But we haven't done command line, what's it called? Command mode. There we go. We haven't done command mode yet, so we can't, I can't say like W and then specify a file path. That won't work. But yeah, I think that's fine for the time being. So now here's the question: how best to implement opening files? Because what happens when the editor starts up? Because that's basically what we have to do. Main. Right. We do some stuff, create the arena, and then we add the contents of the file to the arena. Oh, so we add the default JSON that we start with. This data structure here is kind of the same as here, right? It's an array with true, false, then an object value true. So what we could do is, if we knew what file we're going to open, then we could, if we have a function that parses JSON off the disk and adds it to an arena, then we can just, like, you know, replace this whole line here with that function. I think that could work. It's a little bit janky. Well, we should probably pass a file path in here. Okay, right. Yeah, so we should probably add to the constructor of editor a way of saying, oh yeah, I want an editor that's editing a specific file. So editor mod. Oh, here we are. Here's the constructor. And then we just want file path. And we want to just, like, for the time being, let file path equal this. Yeah. I would definitely read it from the first arg. I don't know how Vim manages adding multiple arguments, because you can launch Vim with, like, say like cargo.log and cargo.toml. How does it handle this? Yeah, like, Like, what does Vim even do at this point? Does it like, I don't know, because what I'd expect if you say to open two files is to have this happen, right? Like you have two files open in separate windows, but okay. I don't know what Vim does. If QA, oh yes, because I don't know what Vim does. I think what Vim does is unnecessarily complicated anyway. Yeah, exactly. See, like, this is the kind of nice thing about like making an editor that's inspired by Vim rather than a Vim clone, is that stuff like this you can say, I don't understand how this works, and I don't think anyone understands how this works, and so I'm just going to simplify it. I think I'd quite like to simplify some things, because Vim like is great, but it's had what 50 or 60 years of history kind of like chained into it, and it's just like a mess, albeit a great mess. But a mess is still a mess. Use std fs path buff. Right, so we need to create a hold on, what are you telling me that this path, what? No way is path buff private. Yeah, that's what so opening files as vsplit. I think that's what you should do. So I think, like in this case, we've got main and editor mod. I think if we just say vim, let's move to source, and then vim editor mod and main. I think this command should result in the state we've got here, which is that you've got editor mod and main open together. But like we can't do windowing yet. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a kind of open question whether or not it's worth doing windowing anyway. Because I know Kakowin doesn't have this kind of basically a tiling window manager where you can like vsplit some file. It just says, hello.
Dinner's ready. Do you want to come right now or do you want to wait a bit?
I'll come down in a bit.
Okay, that's fine. We'll start.
Cool. Okay, that was Mum turning up to say dinner. Well, yeah, you probably heard that. Anyway, Mum says hi, at any rate. What is it doing? So why is it saying, let's say cargo build. Oh, it's standard path. Oh, and I'll bet that FS imports, like uses path buff internally, and that's why it's a private declaration. Okay, so we want file path as an argument, path buff, and now we want to pass in file path as an argument. Okay, I think that should work. Yeah, so copy and paste, I don't know, because it's weird. I'm pretty sure Vim, if you don't compile it yourself, Vim can't talk to the system clipboard, right? So if I were to, like, I don't know, yank this text and then go to another window and paste, then it pastes whatever was in my system clipboard. So Vim has its own internal clipboard, which, again, I'm not sure is the best idea. I wonder if it should just use the system clipboard. Although, obviously, like, if you're editing syntax trees, then dumping syntax trees into the system clipboard is like, when would you ever copy and paste a syntax tree into a different program, right? I don't quite understand. And how on earth the two programs would agree when so many, like, so much stuff in computing can't agree anyway. Well, as in, thank God it can't write to the system clipboard. I don't know. I think I have had use for wanting to write to the system clipboard from Vim before. Not a lot. Like the vast majority of the time, I wanted to write to the system clipboard. There's supposed to be some buffer somewhere, like some command that can do it, but apparently you can't do it unless you compile NeoVim yourself, which I have not done. I will. Oh, mouse for system clipboard. I don't know. Yeah, because mainly it's just that, like, if I want to copy and paste, say, this section into a, like, I don't know, because if I'm responding to someone's pull request on GitHub and I've, like, pulled what they're doing down onto my local machine and I make some changes and I want to suggest them, rather than just, like, committing straight to their branch, which is, like, I kind of feel bad about doing, I'd like to just copy and paste out of Vim, and it's just a pain. I think Kakao lets you pipe your selection into a shell script. So like you could say, wait, so have we got thing dot, ooh. Yeah, so if we were to cat thing.json, then you can say cat.thing.json into xclip, and that will copy it into the system buffer. So if I paste, then we get the stuff we copied. And so Kakao allows you to do that straight out of the editor. But anyway, this is all a giant aside. Let's get on with it. Get on with what I was supposed to be doing. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess it could just be a grass is greener on the other side of the fence thing, which is that I've never had it set up to talk to the system clipboard because I couldn't understand how. And yes, I can, but then I copy the line numbers. So if you copy from the terminal, I end up copying the line numbers. So what I always did was I would cat the file and then specify the line numbers I wanted as arguments. Like there's some argument to cat where you can say only print to the terminal a certain number of lines, and then I would do it. But that's so painful. I just want to just copy and paste. But anyway, that's a big giant aside. Ooh. Hold on, does this work? What? Oh, okay. Hold on, what? So hitting control whilst selecting. Does that? Ooh. Aha. Oh, I did not know about that. Spicy. Well, okay, so it copies... Ah, I did not know about that. That's cool. Okay. Well, that kind of fixes my problem. I mean, it copies the type parameters, but like it copies the type annotations as well, but that's... I can't really fault that. What was I doing before this? Oh yeah, reading from a file. How on earth do we do that? So I think that AST should have some kind of thing that's like, we should have a specific, like, dedicated function of the AST trait AST, and we should have a parse from text somewhere. Parses from text and adds to an arena. from parse to arena, we need some text. And that's a string, and we need, we don't need anything else. Oh yeah, we need the arena. So arena and ampersand mute. And this returns a pointer into the arena of type self, which is, and we return a pointer to the allocated root node. Okay, right. So parsing to an arena. Hold on, what's it gibbering about? Okay. Okay, cool. It's working again now. So what we need here is we need a way to parse JSON, and like obviously I could write that myself, and if Sapling's able to edit arbitrary files, then I would have to do it myself, right? There's no way around it. We'd have to have some kind of system where you have specify the grammar of the language, and then you feed it arbitrary files and it parses them. But for the time being, I think we just need, we just think it's not like Serde, where you know what shape the JSON is going to be, and you're deserializing it into a data structure. We need something. Firefox View. Okay. Oh wait. Oh no. Oh no. OBS. OBS, what are you doing? Camera. Let me move the camera. There we go. Okay. Right. Enough faffing. Rust. Parse. Yeah, someone might just know what the crate for parse JSON file. Okay. Ooh, seeds JSON. Yes, but so can Serde JSON just parse into some kind of data structure, right? Like I don't. Serde JSON, can it do it? Okay, so they're working with 3 common ways you might find yourself needing to work with JSON data in Rust. As text data, you have an unprocessed string of JSON. Aha. Oh, yes, that's what we need. Hold on. We could just replace test JSON with this. Because this is doing literally what test JSON does, right? Like it's like this is just what test JSON does, except that we actually have macros for creating stuff nicely. Oh, this is so much better. Okay, right, let's get this working. Oh, I don't have enough screens. I want to... okay, let's just stick it somewhere and let's get right into this code. So we need cargo toml Serde JSON. What's the current Serde JSON version? Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Right. hold on. How do I get the version number of this? Anyone know why Serde is called Serde? By the way, I've never looked, but hold on, what? Oh, version 1.0.59, right. Okay, IDE view. Oh, is that a thing? Yeah, well, so here's the thing. What I was doing, like, as an aside, not like the mainstream development, was I was doing some aggressive refactoring of the AST module as a whole, right? Because the current way of storing syntax trees is a bit clunky. It seems nice, right? Yeah. Oh, I thought it had so Serde is serialization, deserialization. I didn't realize that. I thought, I thought it was named after someone or something like that. But there we go. You learned something new. 1.0. Oh, this is a bit weird. We've added specific versions for everything except TUIKit. Maybe I should just quickly look up. Whilst we're here, let's just give that a specific thing. What's the current latest version? 0.4.3. Okay. And Serde JSON. Oops. Oh, you can't see my code. Hello. Have I just locked my terminal somehow? Oh no, it's fine. Right, let's just let it pull in the enormous number of dependencies that it wants. Right. So what we want is we want to... Hold on, where's my documentation? I should probably share my screen on, like, this would be a lot easier if I just screen, like, if I just got OBS to record my entire screen, then it would be a heck of a lot easier for you to see. But the thing is, I don't want to do that because, I don't know, like, stuff like notifications for emails and WhatsApp messages and stuff appear on my screen. So I think I'm just going to stick for now with just changing windows. It's a bit annoying, but anyway, we want Serde.json value. Get, okay. Get mute is object, blah, 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 blah. No, I want, how do I parse this? So, how to parse? Right, so value to string. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then, haha! String of JSON data can be parsed into a value by Serde.json.fromStr. Right, okay. Okay, so we should probably return some kind of result here because because parsing is notoriously unreliable. So value is from str. You know, I'm just going to import it directly. Value from str. Yes, you should be seeing the code. Okay. Oh, can we parse straight from a file? That's cool. Okay. Although, if this is going to be a trait method, is there a trait for readable things, I wonder? For the time being, I'm just going to make it text because it's nearly dinner time, or it is dinner time, and I'd like some dinner soon, but I'd like to get this finished as well. So I'm just going to press on. So text, I think, is this happy? Okay, well, it's happy about this. What error type does this return? Documentation. Set it JSON results T. What result is this? Set a error. Okay, right. Well, let's allow this to specify a parse error, and this has to be implement std error. How did the suggestion think that error was boxed? Is it std io read? Ah, nice. Okay, yeah. Sedi, what was the thing? Sedi JSON from reader value. Oh, nice, that works. I shouldn't sound so surprised, but like, code actually working is so surprising to me. Okay, so now we need to, hold on, what? So now we need to add value to the arena somehow. Oh, no, yes, okay, you're still seeing the Firefox window. Oh, okay, well, thanks for, like, spamming chat. That's the right thing to do in this, if this happens. Okay, so what I think we should do is, well, yeah, the way my kind of, like, overly privacy sensitive way of using OBS is a pain. Once we move to my desktop computer, which is just like down there, you can't see it, but I have a new PC, and once that's properly set up, I will start streaming on that, and I have a window manager on that rather than a desktop, so notifications just can't appear, and once that's up to the level, like once that's configured well enough that I can stream on it, then I'll start streaming on it, and then I'll just do the screencast thing, and it will all be fine. But for the time being, I don't want to share my screen. Yeah. Okay, so... Ooh. What is cubes? Let me cheekily look up what... That's true. That's a very good point. I should definitely just blame OBS. Oh, it's an operating system. Nice. Okay. That's quite cool. Is this Linux? That's cool. I might, if I get fed up with Arch Linux, install that. But I don't know. It took me many a day to... Most paranoid OS in the universe. That sounds like me being... no, I'm not that paranoid. Anyway, okay. I was here to write some code, wasn't I? AST test JSON. Right. Okay, so I think AST... Oh, do you? Yeah, I mean, it seems cool. Like, if it's... Like, so long as everything you want to... So long as everything you want to work works, I don't see, like, any issue why one operating system is better than the other, unless it's Windows, in which case it's obviously bad. Everything else is fine. Oops, did I offend some people? Some people just left. Oh no, I hope they weren't Windows, like, pious Windows users. Anyway. Okay, so what I think we need is we need a function somewhere. Add pubfun, add. So basically what I'd like is to completely replace test.json, which is what we have right now, which is the kind of owned version of the owned version. Brain, come back. It's an owned JSON structure. It is literally the same as seddr.json, except that seddr.json's had a load of effort put into it, and my home-rolled implementation hasn't. So, okay, so add to arena JSON. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I still haven't bought Windows for my PC, and I'm just like trying to avoid having to do it, because it just kind of annoys me that Windows is so expensive, and yet if you want to do any serious gaming, you have to have it. Like, that's just... Yeah, Windows just annoys me quite a lot. If it actually worked, then I would install it. Or, well, okay, it does work, but Linux is better. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I should buy Factorio, actually. It looks really good. Value. And we need an arena. We need a pointer to an arena, and this is use create arena. Oh yeah, it's arena. Syntax error. Oh. Yeah, that's a bit silly. Doesn't... Oh, I know why this is not working, and that's because it's not working because I haven't even imported it as a thing yet. Let's make it here. Oh, it has to be AST.json value. Okay, that's fine. Move source AST value to source AST. Okay, yeah, well, yeah, make directory. And now move source AST JSON. Okay, so now is Rust happy? Okay, this is better. This is what I expected. Unresolved module, are you kidding me? No, this is resolved. AST JSON value. Okay, this is what I was expecting. And it has lifetime arena and its type is JSON, except that JSON and we use super JSON. What? Oh yeah, because the arena doesn't have a lifetime. It doesn't own any data. It doesn't reference anyone else's data, so it doesn't need a lifetime parameter. It owns a lot of data, but it doesn't reference anyone else's JSON. And the type is, and the lifetime is an arena. Do I not need to put the arena lifetime in here as well? So if I panic, so it doesn't have anything to return. Okay, yeah, so this is okay. Right, now, I'm pretty sure we have to do this, we have to do this recursively. So we need to match JSON. Value null, we need to add, yes, we need to just alloc JSON null. And this should be the right type. If we have bool true, arena.alloc JSON true, same with false. Okay, what we've got now, value array. Okay, I'm not going to do that yet. Oh, shizzle. JSON has numbers, I forgot. Right, we're just going to unimplement it. In that case, string, okay. Which hopefully we can move the string without just straight up copying it. Arena.alloc JSON str s. Hopefully this will work. We won't find out until we finish the match arms, I think. Yeah. What's the last thing? Oh yeah, so array children. So yeah, so if we have a load of, we have an array with a load of children, then we need to first allocate all of the children into the array, into the arena. So we just like say, oh yeah, well, we have this array and it's of the value array type and it has a load of values as its children. Well, we need to turn it into a JSON array with JSON nodes as its children. And so we just iterate over all of the children and allocate that. In fact, oh, hold on, we can do this with some iterator magic. I think we can say arena.alloc. So we want to allocate JSON array, and that's our top level thing. And now we need a vector of pointers into the arena again, right, which is the children but allocated. And so we say children.map. .iter.map. So for every child here, we say add to arena C arena. So we say for every child that we've got in the said A array, we allocate that into the arena, and then once we're done allocating all of them, we collect to a vector. Hopefully the type annotation type system will just figure that out. Then we add that, turn that into an array and allocate. Oof, what have I done wrong? Have I missed a bracket somewhere? Ah, yes. Uh-huh. Oh, this is getting spicy. Okay, right. Okay, let's just... I don't understand what... Oh my days. Right. Oh, okay. Does this check out? But we collect before... Ah, right. This needs to be here. Okay. Is that happy? Ooh. Ah, yeah, I think we need to borrow this. Because we can't just be moving everything. No, we have to clone. I don't like causing heap allocations, but we're just going to have to. Okay, so this is happy. And basically what we're doing is saying, like reading the function from the inside out as it's going to be executed. We have arena alloc as the outer function, and then on the inside, right at the middle, we have this, which is get the iterator over the children of the array we're trying to allocate, and then allocate them one by one, store this as a vector, which is like, so collect all of the pointers that we've allocated together, then combine that, say, oh yeah, make a JSON array out of that, and then allocate. And then conveniently, this returns a pointer, which is what we're expecting out of the function here. I'm not sure how much of that made sense, but hopefully it did. And this is fields. And we have to be a little bit more careful about this. Arena alloc. We need to expected one argument, right? So that's a JSON. Can we into iter over something that we're pulling out of a thing? That's the question. So if we own this, ooh, wow, thank you. Wow, I didn't know that was going to work. Okay, that's cool. So now we don't need to clone. We can get away without cloning the string. Oh, that feels way better. Okay. Parameter must be end. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, so it is, because we're matching over the owned version. Okay, I think this is okay. Well, I mean, the compiler's saying it's okay. So, although, ooh, I think the type checker might run before the borrow checker. So I think we're not out of the woods yet, but we stand a decent chance. So we want to allocate. Okay, good. So so it seems like in all expectation it's going to work. So JSON object, and what do we want to put in the object? Well, we need to put a series of fields, and here can we say into iter? Yes, so into iter, what's the type of this? Does it say? So expected. Oh no, so edit JSON has its own map. Okay, well hopefully, you know what? Okay, well hopefully this returns tuples. Value. So this is, oh, whoops. Key value. And, oh. Oh, good. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that is the case. So we have key value, and then we need to turn the key. What we're expecting here is we're expecting we're going to allocate arena.alloc. We want to allocate a JSON field, and then as the left argument we need to allocate a string arena.alloc. Oh, I hope this makes arena alloc. This is getting a bit crazily recursive, but I think this is easier than so yeah, so we need to make a field. The left-hand side of the field is an allocated string, so JSON str key. Okay, and then the value is just we recursively add to the arena, so it's value and arena again. Match all the brackets. Dot collect. Okay, please work. Oh my. Oh, does it compile? Uh-oh, have I just nuked a load of stuff? Please compile. Please. No. Okay. Wow. Oh, but the good news is that this function compiles. It's just that the rest of the code doesn't. Okay, so we have progress is being made. Where are all the errors? It's AST mod, I believe. Or it's JSON that's... Oh yeah, JSON should move into... Oh, the lag. There's some... Okay. Where are the errors? Right. Oh, okay. So the first error is we've defined parse error without putting it in the trait, so we can fix that quite easily. Split AST mod. Oh, other way around. We defined it in the trait. Oh, right. Oh, I've been silly. Okay, so we need to type parse error, and that's said a JSON error. Okay. Right, now we have this giant mess. Okay. We need parse.toArena, but we don't want to import any Serde stuff here because this is the module. Okay, I don't know what I was splatting all this in the module for. Okay, so Serde JSON. Okay, right, so we need to... This code needs to go in here after display things. Let's put it here. Right, we could say parse. No, we can't rename it. That's too much effort. And then this needs to have no body. Right, so I think the only issue with this is now that value is not in scope, right? So there are no issues with the module. Oh no, we want to import said a JSON value with a capital V. Oh, in fact, we can just JSON value. We've only got one function in here. We can probably just dump it in here. Add value to arena. Okay, that should still compile. Where is the error? 166. Ah, 195 is where the errors appear to be. Right, okay. Expected 2 type arguments. Can we just ask the compiler. Okay, right. Okay, this is nearly working. So we got value, and now we need to add to arena value and the arena we were just given, and return. Except that this needs to be a thing, and oh yeah, and this should be result of a pointer and self.error, parse error. Oh yeah, and this should be okay. And everything should be fine, except that this is now not what the trait asks us for. So this needs to be result self.parse error. Right. Missing documentation. Okay, well, a type for error type for ways that parsing can fail. Oh, we got missing documentation, but this is private. This should be private. We don't need to access this anywhere. Oh wait, we do, because we need to add it. We'll use it in the unit tests. It would be nice to make this an extension trait, actually, but for the time being, this will work. Okay, so this converts set a JSON value into a JSON tree, whilst allocating the nodes into a given arena. That'll do for now. Does the code compile? Exciting, it does. Okay, well, I'd quite like to just, first of all, inline this. Do we need to? No, we don't need to do that. It's more readable like this. Okay, well, so parse to arena is never getting used, so we need to editor. Oh no, we want main function, because this is where we choose the file path to read from. Add to arena. Okay, so instead of this, we add. Oh yeah, okay, so we need to import. We import add to arena, add value to arena, and the root is add value to arena, and well, the JSON is right. We need to initial. So what we need to do is we need to parse the file before starting the editor up, because we need to know what JSON we need to put in the initial buffer. So initial JSON is, well, it's set a JSON dot what was it, from reader. We should import set a JSON value here. Oh, what's going on? Oh, okay, right. We can at least make the file parse properly. Oh yeah, we don't need test.json string, test.json imported anymore. From reader, well, what's the reader? We need to standard fs file dot open and file path. And we're going to unwrap because I feel like living life on the line. Wrong number of type arguments. Can we just ask? Okay, right, that will work. And then what do we need to add to the arena? Well, we add initial JSON to arena. So we need to borrow it. Oh, and we need to unwrap. Do we need to unwrap this? Oh, of course, but yeah, we do need to unwrap here because parsing the JSON in the first place could fail. Can we just borrow this? Aha, right. So what's in thing.json? Okay, so... Oh, wait, hold on. It loaded. It actually loaded properly. Okay, so if we do some edits and then insert false and then write... Oops. That didn't change thing.json. Whoops. Oh. Okay, so if we edit some stuff and then insert, like replace it with false, and then write to disk and then quit thing.json. Oh, it has the new tree in it. Oh, yes. So then if we run, yes, boys. Okay. And girls, of course. Oh, it works. Oh, that's so good. Well, I mean, it's not very good, actually. It's like, it's pretty unsafe and crazy, but, well, I mean, like, it actually feels more like a text editor now, right? Like, before it was just like, hey, here's a thing that we can edit without doing anything to. And now we can actually read and write to a file. Oh, look at this, hold on, you need to see how insane the number of files that we've changed are. Yeah, definitely, there's, yeah, make it good before make it work. NBs. Nice. But yeah, there's a, I was reading some stuff. I can't remember where I found it. I think I found it on Reddit. There was a blog post that, well, there was a Reddit post that linked to a, like, online book that was called The Architecture of Open Source, or something like that, right? It was a whole collection of people who wrote big open source projects would talk a bit about, like, how the open source projects worked. And the one for LLVM, the compiler toolchain, was really interesting. So one, it was an interesting read, and then the last paragraph was really interesting. It said something like, along the lines of, I'm probably going to butcher it, but I'll. They said it better than I'll say it, but they said something along the lines of, well, when we made LLVM, the point was never to make it perfect from the start. The point was that we would always make it as good as possible and be happy to make it better. Yes, everyone. Yeah, yes, boys and girls, and everyone. I mean, to me, boy. So I when I said boy, I was like, I meant BOI, right? Like as boy, which is more like, I don't know, it is kind of more not actually associated to being male, right? That was kind of what I meant. That was very ambiguous, definitely. So, where are you at? Yeah, anyway, like there's this crazy number of files that we've changed. Yeah. Yeah, so I quite like dudettes as a word for female dude. But obviously, like, it doesn't work for non-binary people. Yeah, people is the like the most inclusive, I guess, or the most unambiguously inclusive word. But I don't know. It just like sounds like yes, people. I don't know. Yeah, boys sounds kind of better in my books. Like it sounds better, regardless of like what it means. Like whenever like something exciting happens, then I'm just like, oh, just say the first thing that comes into my head, and that is usually yeah, boys. Well, yeah, I'd kind of, at some level, I kind of like want the stream to be at least vaguely family friendly, even though like I guess most of the viewers of my streams will be young. Oh yeah, you are a penguin. Well, so I would therefore be a Kneasel, I guess. Apparently the like, yeah, there's a story behind why I'm called Kneasel, and like I don't really know exactly where it came from or why I'm called Kneasel on the internet, but it definitely came from the creature from Harry Potter that's a Kneasel spelt with a Z, right? And somehow when I put my name into Google to make a Gmail account, which is like the first account that started all of this, I misspelt Kneasel with an S, and then just like the whole thing snowballed. And of course Kneasel with an S is very free as like a username, right? Because anyone who wanted to name themselves after the cat from Harry Potter would spell it properly. They would spell it with a Z, and therefore I was just like, oh, this is excellent, like no one's named this before. So I guess I'm therefore a misspelt cat from Harry Potter, if if that's a thing. But yeah, so I suppose if penguins have to be included, then we can't say people unless penguins are people. It could be hello living, living creatures, we could say. That's very inclusive. Okay, I'm not going to I'm not going to review all of this code before on stream. I'm not worried. Leastways, even if you do bite, I can't be bitten over a live stream, so I'm not worried yet. Are stones beings? I think stones are not beings. I mean, I guess thing is the most the most inclusive thing you could possibly have. Yeah. But in all honesty, like the best thing is to just say yeah with no kind of suffix on the end. Fun times. Oh, that's true. That's true. Stones do be heavy. Oh, I needed a drink. Talking is tiring. Also, I'm hoping the audio is not clipping, because so the microphone is right next to me here, which is very close to my chest, and the volume is very loud. Hold on, can I hear myself? Okay, I'm not. Wait, are you saying that you're like a stone or something? Is that like... Well, next time I'll say, yeah, boys and penguins. Boys, like, meaning anyone, and then penguins because, I don't know. That's cool. It's a nice position to be in, not getting offended at things. Oh, yeah, you guys are cool viewers. Anyway, I need to eat now. I'm really hungry. But it's been a fun stream, actually. I enjoyed it. It was a decent balance of, like, talking and programming, I think. Because I think if it's just programming, it gets, like, a bit dull, because it's like, oh, yeah, let's just write some code. And, you know, it's not like gaming where watching someone play a video game is kind of, like, inherently quite engaging. Programming is just like, oh yeah, let's watch someone type text that's actually quite small on the screen. But yeah, anyway, you guys seem to stick around, so for that I thank you. And I will see you hopefully next week, I think. So yeah, I think this is the best one so far. Like, also, we actually made a big change to Sapling, right? Like, it went from being, I don't know, a program that's like, oh yeah, well, it's cool and all, but, you know, like, it can't open and close files, read and write files. So, like, it's still a toy as far as, like, being a text editor is concerned. But now it's like, oh, well, you actually could feasibly use Sapling to edit something. Like, it's far from ideal because you can't edit strings and stuff, but Sapling is like it's a definite step towards usability, I think. And it was just like, yeah, it's nice chatting at the end as well. Like, just talking about whatever is also fun. But yeah, it's dinner time. So thank you all for coming, and I'll hopefully see you all next week. Bye!